If you are hearing this, you've already crossed the 27th parallel. You've noticed the radio went silent. You've noticed your compass is shivering like it's terrified of what's ahead. You think you're in a desert in Mexico. You're not. You're inside a mouth. In 1970, the US Air Force lost a rocket, an Athena. It wasn't just metal and wires. It carried 2 containers of cobalt-60, a radioactive isotope that doesn't just kill, it poisons the very memory of the land it touches. It was supposed to land in White Sands, New Mexico. Instead, it was pulled south. It landed in a patch of dirt the locals call La Zona del Silencio, the Silent Zone. The military sent us in to get it back. 4 men, 2 trucks, and enough gear to find a needle in a haystack. But we didn't understand the territory. The Silent Zone doesn't just hide things, it eats them. And by the time we realized we were being digested, it was already too late. Most people think radio silence just means the music stops playing. In the zone, it's physical. We noticed it 2 miles past the 27th parallel. The air didn't just go quiet, it went heavy. Sanchez was the first to notice the cobalt-60 trackers. They didn't show radiation spikes, they showed information displacement. The needles weren't measuring atoms, they were measuring the absence of reality. Every mile we drove, our own memories felt thinner. I tried to remember the name of my first-grade teacher, and it was gone. Just a gray smudge in my mind. The zone was already starting to rewrite us, clearing out our data to make room for its own. We should have turned back then. But the mission wasn't just to recover a rocket. It was to see if the rumors of the magnetic void were true. We found out. We found out that silence has a weight, and it was starting to crush the trucks into the sand. We didn't walk into the zone with a survival guide. We wrote it in the dirt as we lost people. Dr. Vance, that's me, started the log. Rule number 1, never look at your watch. Time in the zone isn't a line, it's a circle that's slowly tightening around your throat. We figured this out because of Miller. He was our navigator, a man who lived by the second. On day 2, his watch was 5 minutes fast. By day 3, the hands were spinning so fast they looked like a blur of silver. Miller became obsessed. He kept winding it back, trying to fix time. He stopped looking at the horizon. When I finally grabbed his arm to pull him back to the truck, his watch wasn't just fast. The gears were grinding with a sound like a human scream. I looked at Miller's face, and my heart stopped. In 1 hour, he had aged 40 years. His hair was white, his skin was like wet paper. He'd followed his watch right out of our reality. Rule 1 is simple. If the time is wrong, let it be wrong. To fight the zone's clock is to invite the decay into your marrow. Rule number 2, do not follow your own footprints. We tried to leave on day 4. We drove the Jeep north for 6 hours, following our own tire tracks, desperate for the highway. But the desert in Mapimí is a mirror. We stopped when we saw a crate in the middle of the road. Our crate, the one we had dropped 20 miles ago. The zone had curved the earth beneath us. We were a snake eating its own tail. Then came the echo. Rule number 3, if the radio speaks, do not answer. The cobalt-60 did something to the air. It turned the silence into a recording device. We heard things that shouldn't have been there. It was 3 a.m. on the 5th night. We were huddled in the back of the transport truck. The silence outside was so heavy, it felt like it was pressing against our eardrums. Then, the speaker hissed.
Papa? Are you there? It's cold.
Did you hear that? It's just skip glitch, Sanchez. Atmospheric bounce. Ignore it.
I'm in the garden, Papa. The flowers are black. Why are the
Maria.
flowers black?
Mija. I'm here. I'm coming home soon.
When Sanchez spoke into that microphone, something reached back through the wire. He didn't scream. He didn't even move. He just emptied. Then, the speaker clicked again.
I'm in the garden now, Vance. The flowers are black. Do you want to see them?
After Sanchez answered that radio, after he emptied out, we realized the truth. The zone doesn't have a voice. It steals yours. And once it has your voice, it knows exactly how to break you. It wasn't just the radio that was playing tricks. On day 6, we saw them. The locals talk about the gente de la zona, the people of the zone. Tall, impossibly blonde, with skin that looks like it's made of polished porcelain. They don't walk, they glide just an inch above the sand. We saw 3 of them standing near the rusted remains of an old 1940s plane wreck. They didn't have tools, they didn't have water. They were just staring at the sky. When we approached, they didn't run. They turned their heads in perfect unison. Their eyes weren't eyes. They were perfectly smooth white orbs. No pupils, no iris. Just 2 marble spheres reflecting the sun. One of them pointed at Miller, who was already lost to the Chronos Trap. It didn't speak, but we all heard the same thought in our heads. This one is full. The harvest is almost complete. Then they were gone. Not running, not fading, just edited out of the frame, like someone had cut the film of our lives. On day 7, we found the rocket. It wasn't crashed, it was planted, standing perfectly upright in a field of obsidian black sand that shouldn't exist in this hemisphere. No impact crater, just a 30-foot needle of steel pointing at a sky where the constellations were all wrong. Orion was gone. The Big Dipper had 10 stars. We weren't on Earth anymore. I walked into that circle of black sand. I saw the strange matter we were looking for. It wasn't in the rocket. The rocket was just the bait to pull us here. The matter was the sand itself. Every grain was a perfect, glowing geometric cube, a piece of data. Standing in the center, I saw the world as it really is, a grid, a series of coordinates that we pretend are solid. But here, the grid was torn. The zone is an infant universe growing inside our own, and it is feeding on our memories to build its own physical laws. It's not a mystery, it's a download. When I stood on that obsidian sand, I dropped my canteen. It didn't hit the ground with a thud. It hit with a sound like glass shattering on a frozen lake. I looked down, and the canteen hadn't just broken, it had turned into a perfect 2D image. It was flat, a photograph of a canteen lying on a 3D floor. That's when I realized the horrifying truth of the Silent Zone. It's a compression engine. It takes our 3-dimensional world, our bodies, our machines, our history, and it crushes them down into data points. The Cobalt-60 wasn't just an isotope, it was a marker for the compression. The government knew this. They weren't afraid of the radiation, they were afraid of the folding. They wanted to know if they could use the zone to store secrets where no human could ever find them. But they forgot one thing. Once you compress a man into a data point, you can't ever unfold him again. I woke up at a gas station in Chihuahua. My hair was white. My watch had melted into my skin. They told me I'd been gone for 20 years. The government erased the logs. They took the sand. They took the men. Why? Because the silent zone is still growing. Every glitch on your GPS, every second your phone clock freezes, every time you hear a voice in the static, that's the zone expanding. It's using the maps we build to find us. I'm 90 years old now. I live in a room with no windows, but I can still see the black sand in the corners of my eyes. Sanchez is still on the radio, he's still in the garden, and he's waiting for you to look at your watch. Check it now. Is it still ticking? Are you sure?